We are live. Always takes a little minute for these things to catch up. Cool. I've just shown over 50 clients how they can plan out their whole Q1 content strategy in under 2 hours. And I'm going to take you through the exact process so you know what to do, what not to do, and the specific priority order that I recommend doing it in. So before we start talking about content, we need to talk about cash, because why else are we putting content out there? Unless you like these other idiots who just want like engagement, comments or likes or followers, then turn this off. But if you want cash, we need to think about cash and clients. So we need to take stock of where we're at, most importantly first. And we do that through looking at these 4 C's here, all right? Calls, closes, cash, and clients. But first, we need a target, all right? How much money do you want to make each month? If you don't know how much money you want to make, and you need to have a specific number in mind, you're always going to struggle to reach it, all right? I've been working with a mentor for a while, shout out to Stephen, and we got to like, I don't know, halfway through the year, and I was like, things just aren't where they need to be. And he was like, I've not heard you talk about a financial target in ages, Chris. So let's set one. And we set one. And I set it high. We didn't hit it, but we landed higher than we were the previous months just because I had the target. So you can't score a goal or a basketball hoop if you're blindfolded or you don't know where the net is, or both. All right. So we need to set that target. For most people inside C2C, that was coming out at 10 to 15K a month, there or thereabouts. Now that over the course of a quarter is going to equate to 45K, which is great. So we know what we need to aim for, but we can get more tactical and look more, rather than focusing on the outputs, we focus on the inputs. So what are the things that we can control? Well, what's our close rate? In C2C, it's anywhere from 30 to probably 80%, all right? But if we just went 1 in 3, all right, let's say 1 in 3. How much is the offer price? How much is a client worth to us? Well, let's just, for ease of this, say it's 5K, all right? So we can now work out that we need 3 5K clients to hit our 15K target per month, all right? And if we close 1 in 3, that will mean we need 9 calls per month in order to hit the 15K target. Brilliant. So now we don't have to keep obsessing over the money and obsessing over the number of clients. We have a different metric to obsess over. Well, a couple, but this. How do we get our business to a stage, or our marketing or our engagement plan, or engagement plan? We don't have a fucking engagement plan. I shouldn't have said that. Oh yeah, by the way, if you like a new C2C merch, Jill sorted me out earlier. It's fresh. Anyway, it's not for sale unless you're a client. So the thing that we can now do is take this into consideration when we map out our calendar. All right. So that's the first thing. Once we have that target, we know the North Star, we know where we're aiming for. It now means that every single piece of content, everything we go through here has a job to do, a very specific job to do. So the next thing that I ask clients to do is look at their calendar. All right. Now, what most business gurus and people in my position will just all be about the biz and the selling and shit like that. We position something else first. We position your personal life first, because we need constraints. All right. We need to operate within constraints. So we need to have hours where we don't work, essentially. And we also need to have days where we don't work. So I asked them, I gave them a full worksheet with this, and I asked them to fill out any of the important business stuff that was coming up over the next 3 months. So they have 3 calendars almost, and they will mark out, well, it might be Valentine's Day here, might be going on date night here, might be doing something here, you know, whatever. Might be kids' school holiday, might be going to Center Parks, whatever it is. So we put those things in. And what that does is not only give us the constraints that we need, because now we have a clear runway for the other stuff we're going to put in, and we know what we can and we can't do, but it also gives us content ideas as well. If you're going away for a full week here, it's going to tell you 2 things. One, you might want to schedule some content for that period, but also you might use some of it for content in the future or when you're there. Because once we've done the personal stuff, we move on to business. And if you know that you're going to an event in Amsterdam there's going to be some banging content that you can create, all right, without you even having to think. Just you being there and creating content from documenting rather than having to plan and strategize and create saves a shitload of time. So the next thing we do is map out those exact things. What are the business events that are coming up? You might have an existing promo. You might be getting a guest speaker in to come and do something for you. You might be, I don't know, going to a business event in Amsterdam as an example. Okay. Then this was the main thing. Every client of ours runs a campaign, a sales campaign every single quarter, which is an aggressive sprint taking action on selling their offer. And we're going to talk about how we position the campaign. But first, we actually need to know when we're going to do it. Because when it comes to selling, there are two metrics that are really important. The first is obviously money, because that's a massive human motivator. But the second is time. So we want a period within this quarter or this 90 days that we are asking people to take action before a specific deadline and giving them a reason to do it. So when it comes to the campaign, I suggested that we have anywhere from 7 to 28 days of strategic campaign activity. So you think 1 out of every 3 months maximum, we want to be spending selling in an aggressive manner. I don't mean being aggressive towards people. I just mean the action that you take is relentless in terms of selling. So most people settled on 14 to 21 days, which I believe is a sweet spot. For the purpose of this diagram, we're just going to do 14 days. So we marked out, and I asked people, even though some were reluctant and resistant, I asked people to set out the stall, hang their hat on something. And that was a 14-day minimum or 21-day campaign. And now we have the dates. All right. We know exactly what we're going to do. Well, we know when we're going to do it. We don't know what we're going to do. We'll know that in a minute. The next thing is I gave them links to go and get their analytics so they could find their best performing posts across the whole of 2025. I call these the greatest hits. And we're just going to fill in a few blanks here. All right. With reposts. We're just going to straight up repost the stuff that we know already bangs and already gets our audience's attention. All right, perfect. If we've got posts that brought in leads or posts that got us loads of new ideal target followers, just run them again. The exact same thing. Again, all we're trying to do is save time. After that, we have the 3 content types, and we use these to fill in the rest. All right, personal content, proof content, and problem content, aka business content. And we just use these to fill in the other bits. All right. So you just filled up. We've not done the actual content yet, but we've filled up a whole 90-day period, a little bit longer than 90 days, with ideas. And the most important thing is we've committed to a campaign. So then we have to look at the campaign itself. And there are 7 different types of campaign. And you can combine these types as well, which is very interesting. And you can also add on or pull bonus levers too. So let's talk about these. First and foremost, you can have a deadline when doors close. After that, potentially, you could have something brand new. Now you think about gyms. I'll get onto gyms in a sec. You could have a brand new offer, something you're beta testing or launching. You can have a number of limited spots. So there's only 3 spots available. You know, if you're a service provider and you do videography, you're not going to be able to take on 10 clients tomorrow, but you can probably take on 3. So you run your campaign with these constraints in mind. The seasonal wrap is very interesting. So loads of people doing it with new year, new me. If you think about gyms, all they do is repackage the same offer. So they put a seasonal wrap on it, depending on what time of year it is. So if it's get shredded for summer, or, you know, kill carbs before Christmas, or whatever they end up doing. All right. But they will put a seasonal wrap on it based on the time of year. You can do a price rise. By far, our most effective campaign is telling people that we're about to put our prices up. We haven't done it in a long time. We're running one at the moment. That works really well. Challenge, yeah, that's all right. You can run a challenge. And then discount. I wouldn't recommend doing this, to be fair, but every once in a while you could if you wanted to, and it goes against a lot of advice, and rightly so. You could run a discount. It's probably just going to piss your clients off if you do that, though. So what we're doing at the moment, just to utilize all of this and give it a real life example, we have our doors closing on the 19th of December. So we've got doors closed. It's beta and it's new because we've never run it before. We've made some massive changes to C2C. It's actually version 6. Limited spots. We haven't done this yet, but we will be capping the number of spots. The seasonal wrap, basically, half the messaging with the campaign is get your shit sorted before January. The price is going up by £1,000. Amazing. There is actually a discount of £1,000. So we cut the price in half and we've stuck an extra £1,000 discount in for people that join before the 19th of December. We've not done a challenge. So we've actually combined some of these to make it more powerful. And you can do exactly the same. Next, we've got bonuses. So you can include a load of free shit. So an asset, that might be a tool, a guide, a template, a swipe file. It could be a GPT that you built. And you can use this as a bonus. Now, I don't want people to walk away with the idea of like, oh, bonuses are just like launching all the time. And they're like this boss babe thing that no one really cares about. And I can't sell them to corporates. If you sell to corporates, you can. They just need to be framed differently. So I would just call them time-bound incentives. Anything that incentivizes a change in behavior. Okay. These are typically scalable things that you can add on or deliver to clients that they have a high perceived value of that costs you very little to replicate or give out. All right. So we could have the asset. You could give them an audit or a roadmap of something that they're doing at the moment. You could give them extra access so they might get the rest of the year free, as an example. You could give them learning materials. You could give them a live workshop. Could be one-on-one, face-to-face, online, group, whatever. And you can give them extra service. So you might, if you're a videographer, include 5 edits for the price of 3 if they do it within campaign time. All right. Again, what we're doing at the moment is running a whole host of bonuses. So we're pulling various levers at the same time. We're giving away a load of GPTs and assets. We're not doing that one. We are including extra access because you get the whole of the December free. We're giving early access to our course. And then I just ran this workshop specifically for people that signed up early. Again, we're not doing any of that. So we can combine elements of this. Then we need to take stock of the channels. Okay, so we know what we're aiming for. We've got a plan on the day-to-day, what goes out and what happens when, what type of content are we publishing, and we've hung our hat on a specific period when we're going to execute and pull the trigger on a special offer of some description, aka a campaign. We will choose the type or types of campaign we're going to run. And if we like to, we're going to pair it with some bonuses or time-bound incentives to get people to take action quicker. These are the levers or promo levers, essentially, that you can pull. After this, we actually need to know where we're going with all this content. So I always recommend going one-to-many with content, and then going one-to-one with your conversations as well. So there's 2 different things. All right. When it comes to one-to-many content, we either want to pick short form or long form. All right. Now, for short form, it'd be a platform like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, or LinkedIn. For long form, we're looking at YouTube and email. So I recommend picking one of each. All right. And that schedule, the content schedule for each, will be dictated by this. Now, what I have done, you're not going to get access to this if you're not a client, but for our clients, they just all experienced the whole build of this campaign in about 10 minutes once they've answered these questions and gone through everything that I mentioned. All right, because I've built a specific tool that trained on all our frameworks. So it's given them every single email or every single YouTube video and every single short form content piece that they need to produce in line with their chosen type, in line with their bonuses, also in line with the CTAs, and then in line with their platforms and content preferences. So it's pretty fucking crazy. We just condensed weeks of work into, like, as I say, it was under 2 hours for the whole thing. On top of this, though, is not to neglect the one-to-one conversations, and we run that through our priority pipeline. So we only start with the hottest, then we move to medium, then we go to cold. So the job of this content suddenly becomes to fuel the priority pipeline. Okay, this is, again, one of our proprietary frameworks. So anyone that starts paying attention, they might not know you here, but they start giving you attention, clicking on links like lead magnet downloads. They might be viewing your profile. They might be DMing you, or you might be DMing them, or you might have sent them like some communication in the past. We work from the hottest down to the coldest. What most people are trying to do on LinkedIn is give you templates to fucking embrace your new connections. New connections are fucking strangers. What's the point in nurturing them first? It'll take you hours and you won't get any results. Follow the heat. Follow the money. Anyway, I've been going since, I think that's like 2.5 hours now, and I'm getting a bit tired because I'm still recovering, and I'm going to New York next week. C2C merch is looking fresh in the little camera, although I am not looking fresh. I'm knackered. If you want to join us, now is the time. It has never been this cheap, and shouldn't use the word cheap, should I? Breaking all the rules today. It has never been this cost effective to work with us. We've got more client results than any other organic program I've ever seen. I don't know any with as many as we have. And just go and check them out. It's a grand off until the 19th. And after that, the door's shut because we're now operating under a doors close, doors open program and model. Oh, tiredness is kicking in. Thanks for watching. Bye. I had to change hands to change the mouse and end the stream.